Hello, everyone. I am Sheza Naveed, and today I am going to be talking to you about our work. Ask this from the person who has private stuff, privacy perceptions, behaviors, and beliefs beyond weird. This work was done in Pakistan with my collaborators Hamza Naveed, Dr. Mobin Javed, and Dr. Maryam Mustafa. We present findings from our study conducted in different areas of Lahore, Pakistan, exploring privacy perceptions, behaviors, and beliefs in the global south, and the intersection of religious norms and values with privacy. Unlike prior work, in addition to focusing on privacy behaviors, we also explored the norms, beliefs, and value systems that dictate privacy perceptions and practices in patriarchal, non secular contexts like Pakistan. Our work makes three unique contributions: reveals the patriarchal norms and religious values that determine how boundaries are enacted and how privacy is defined. Within this understanding of appropriate behaviors, explores how privacy is enacted and what strategies are employed by low literate men and women to navigate the norms and perform privacy, and presents design implications to include non secular values to help vulnerable groups in navigating predetermined norms and empowering low literate users to leverage privacy affordances. As more and more people come online and gain access to devices, the internet in contexts beyond Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic populations, it is vital to understand privacy perceptions, mechanisms, behaviors, and beliefs of diverse populations in non Western contexts. Johnson describes the patriarchal system as an arrangement of shared understandings and relationships that connect people to one another, defining certain values and behaviors as expected and appropriate. It is important to explore how these predefined norms of appropriateness impact the privacy perceptions and behaviors of not just women, but also men, in contexts that are traditionally less well understood in privacy literature. The study was conducted in Lahore, Pakistan from January 2021 to July 2021. We conducted one-on-one semi-structured interviews in Urdu with low literate participants. The semi-structured interviews explored the privacy perceptions, privacy preserving mechanisms, the application specific privacy practices, and the motivations of implementation of such practices. Moreover, each session also focused on the participants' mental models regarding privacy features, the sources of learning about these features, and the perspective on how privacy should coexist across gender, social, and cultural norms. Participants were recruited using snowball sampling through personal contacts. Participants belonged to low income areas of Lahore. Sessions were held every week until saturation was reached. We interviewed both male and female participants to maintain gender balance and understand how each impacted the privacy practices of the other. The majority of our participants had less than 12 years of schooling, with a small number who had completed 12 years of education. There was a mix of married and unmarried participants, the majority of them living in joint family systems. They belonged to different unskilled and semi skilled professions. Our findings significantly differentiate in how female participants understood and performed privacy versus male participants. We also found religion to play an important role in determining users' privacy perceptions and behaviors. Pakistan is a predominantly Muslim country, and participants relied heavily on their interpretations of Islamic beliefs to conceptualize and enact digital rights. Islamic values and beliefs form the foundations of which much of our male and female participants considered private. Parda and Haya were the two predominant beliefs influencing men's and women's understandings of the private. Parda is understood as a covering, and in Muslim communities, it is predominantly linked with women's bodies and protecting them from the immodest eyes in men's gaze. Although the term refers to a physical covering, it also implies a covering in terms of the language used and often in terms of women's presence in physical and digital spaces. Segregation of genders is one performative form which Parda takes in public and private spaces in many Muslim countries. Our work reveals this segregation to also be enacted in the digital space as a form of digital Parda, keeping digital spaces private and secluded from men. A common theme across interviews with female participants was the association of privacy and the desire for privacy with scandalous and inappropriate content. This again is grounded in the Islamic belief in modesty and parda. However, in contrast to our female users, this was not a common theme amongst the male participants. Male participants did not report sharing passwords because they had nothing to hide. Instead, they had reasons where their friends or family needed to use their phones for making calls, etc. Our female participants were particularly concerned with the negative connotation of privacy. If you have not done anything wrong, you do not need privacy. In exploring women's privacy practices, we find them to be leveraging specific mechanisms to ensure privacy on digital devices without obviously appearing to be enacting privacy. In contrast, most of our male participants' privacy practices are more open, obvious, and deliberate. In our context, privacy is not established or maintained within an individualistic framework, but it is understood as a collective, preserving the family's privacy, honor, and dignity. Female users who even when they had their personal devices, share passwords with family members and want to give the impression of an open device and digital space that family is free to monitor and see. This context of a sort of secret privacy where users would like to enact specific boundaries but would like to bound these boundaries to be invisible and untraceable. Many participants use market applications to supplement their privacy needs. WhatsApp is one of the applications which was used by all our participants on a regular basis. Although WhatsApp provides many built-in privacy features, 17.4% female and 35.3% male participants reported the use of aftermarket modded versions of WhatsApp known as GB WhatsApp and FM WhatsApp. These applications provide additional features over standard WhatsApp, some of which include viewing status without notifying the other person, reading messages without them being marked as read, being able to view details, deleted stories and messages, etc. The contacts of a person using a modded version of WhatsApp are unaware of its use. On their end, the application looks and functions exactly like the official application. The privacy-related norms we observe are determined and set by male beliefs of women's place in society, their belief of how women should be using technologies and how much access they should have to social networking sites. Religion, modesty, and the performance of piety are a second integral factor in how users decide what kind of content can be shared and with whom, and what kind of contacts and relationships are appropriate. We would go so far as to argue that in our context, privacy cannot be conceptualized as a secular concept. It needs to be reimagined with a religious framework drawing from Islamic beliefs and understanding of what is appropriate, what are the boundaries that must be enacted, and for whom. For example, the feature of a private conversation mode would allow conversations where there is no trace of the conversation or media left on the device. A private mode will allow any shared content to be restricted to that session only, and private interactions will be broken down into sessions. While some social networking platforms like Facebook provide mechanisms for limiting audiences, these are based on secular values and do not easily allow for gender segregation or having a tiered mechanism where contacts may be assigned a family role and then a subset of that as a mahram with specific privileges. A mahram is always family, but all male family members are not considered mahram. This could mean multiple custom lists on WhatsApp allowing users to upload their WhatsApp statuses, images, and videos that expire for specific lists of contacts. For more details on specific design guidelines and details about our study, please see the paper. Thank you.